Everyone has a life story to tell, but an incredible life story is shared and told differently.
Yes, it's all about action. If you have followed movies from when movies were movies, stars such as Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Lee and the like, tonight we recreate this same sensation, only this time not in Hollywood but in Wakaliwood. Welcome to this edition of Let's Talk, and on the program we've got a man that's revolutionized action movies in Uganda like no other, giving it the local twist and turn while giving you the props that you can only imagine. Just imagine me with now this pump action gun. Now by the time we're done tonight, you will get to know who killed Captain Alex. Welcome to the program, Isaac Nabwana, or better known as Muzei Wakaliwood.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me.
We're more than privileged to find you in good faculty and not having someone dying on your set. How is Wakaliwood? Tell us more about it.
Yeah, Wakaliwood is fine. Yeah, it is. Wakaliwood is an action studio here in Wakaliga. Normally they call it slums of Wakaliga in the suburbs of Kampala. Yeah, it is fine. Yeah, and we, every day we think of a new action or new, thing to bring on the film industry platform.
For us, we know who killed Captain Alex. We know Tewat Sasula and the other older ones. What new ones do you have on the block coming up?
I have many of them. Endless. I have Boda Boda Killer, Kung Fu Brothers. Those are the new ones. But we have also Mzee Chansi, and there are many movies.
Wow.
I have many movies, and I'm still working on others like Isaac Ninja, which is a Chibuko Mumbali story, which I'm trying to bring on the market.
What kind of story do you say?
Chibuka Omumbali. That is going to be called Isaac Ninja. Have you ever heard of Chibuka Omumbali?
That's an old folk story.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm very soon I'm coming with a movie about Chibuka Omumbali.
But then you are giving it a new, funky feel and calling it Isaac Ninja.
Because for me, I believe that we had a ninja in Uganda, and that was Chibuka Omumbali, who used to fly, fighting in the air. So I believe that we had the ninja, and I think the Japanese are claiming that they have ninjas. They don't have that proof, but for us we have it in the history that the guy was fighting in the clouds. So for me, I want to bring that into reality, and people will see, with a lot of, it's going to be my first superhero movie.
Also, you're now moving into superhero kind of thing and creating a superhero image.
Yeah, because it is the audience of these days, they like superhero movies. So I believe we have also to switch into superhero and tap in there.
Isaac, you're an incredible guy. But let's start from where it all began before you tell us who you are. But just give us a bit of a genesis of Wakaliwood. Why do you call it Wakaliwood? I mean, is it about Wakaliga then with Hollywood mixed together like we see in Hollywood, Bollywood and the like?
Yeah, it is. Anyway, it's like wood is a Christian name for the film industry.
You have to put everything wood.
Yeah, but it was Wakaliga because I grew up here. And I am working from this place, so I like Wakaliga very much. So that's why I said Wakaliwood. In fact, the first person to name it Wood, Wakaliwood, was Amoto Mbulanguzi. When he visited me here, he saw the movies. He loved the comedy in the movies, the action and what. He said, "Oh, these guys of Wakaliwood." Then I said, "Oh, it should be Wakaliwood."
Wow.
So that's how.
And since then, the name is raving across and taking international recognition of many sorts. When was this, and how did you get into conceptualizing movies and even the Ugandan touch?
Yeah, I believe this started when I was very young. I used to draw a lot. Comics in the books, especially football, because I was much into football. But when I was very young, I played football. So I used to draw like a goalkeeper. By those days, we had the likes of Tebusweke could pass the ball to Latigo passes to Mugisha passes to Omondi, and something like that. And then you draw, the goalkeeper passing it. So those comics were representing video for me when I was young. Because I could not, take pictures or something like because of the cameras. So I used to draw a lot. So
you draw them in a sequence.
Yes, in sequence. Yes. So and also I would also think that also what brought into the movie in me was also my brother and the family, because When we were young, we were not allowed to go to cinema halls. Uganda. We were not allowed. Because, yes, children especially, because you know the violence in the movies, and it is not the action violence. You have to know that because of our culture, what violence is in the Western movies is sex violence. Our parents never wanted, even up to now. If you're watching a movie, you have to hold a remote if you're watching it with your children.
Someone is about to kiss.
Yes, because that is not in our culture. So our parents never wanted us to go there. And another reason they gave was that if you get, in love, you fall in love with movies, you will never go to school. So for me, as Isaac Nabwana, that is my name. I mean, that my grandfather's father's name. So
your grandfather's father.
Yes. They used
the long line.
Yeah, that is because I grew up with my grandfather. So he used to tell me that you're my father. Never spoil that name. It is my father's name. So I never wanted to do anything that spoils the name. So I never went to cinema halls. But my brother used to, escape and go and come back and tell you the stories. So when he came back, he could tell you a story that, Schwarzenegger punched something and then you feel it. He demonstrated the demonstration.
Do it with a lot of
yes, like Wang Yu, Bruce Lee. I remember Bud Spencer. Bud Spencer was crushing people, and I have never seen even his movies. But Robert used to tell me that Bud Spencer crushed someone, and then you feel it. Roger Moore, you remember those days of Roger Moore. Yeah. So he could come back and tell you the stories. Yeah. So I have the imagination of Robert's, story. The gestures, he could punch and do something, and then later. We joined also Kung Fu in 1986, around there. So we started demonstrating the Kung Fu. We used to read the China magazines. It was called China Sports Magazine. We used to buy them at Owino Market. By that time I was at Nachivo Brew Primary School. So we could pass through Owino and then we buy the magazines. So in the evening we train ourselves the movements we see at the back of the magazine.
Wow.
So we learned Kung Fu from there. And with the Robert's, gestures and something. Robert is a master anyway. He's my elder brother, but he's a good master. Yeah. So whenever I want to do something like choreographing the scenes, I can sometimes call him. He's very good. So that's how that's what is running in my imagination. But what is so funny is that when I watch these movies, he used to tell me, they are not as interesting as he used to tell me.
So you're putting a little more soul.
Yes, I think he was exaggerating a lot. So for me, I run with that exaggeration. I like it.
Also for you, you get his exaggeration and go with that. Forget about the little peppered down action that you eventually
of course. Yeah, with that exaggeration and some comedy, because I love comedy very much.
But always your stars end up dying in your movies. No one survives in Wakaliwood. So
yeah. Of course, that is one reason. That's one reason why I want people, many actors, to die to solve the equation. As in the past, they used to say that Startafa and someone never died. So meaning that. That is violence. That is what causes violence when children watch the movies, because the star does not die. So when the child watch the movie, she or he thinks that if he's a star, he will never die. But for me, if you don't die in this movie, you die in the coming movie, and then you come back. So to solve the equation, when the child sees that, he or she will understand. Oh, this was acted. This was acted. That is a trick to solve the equation of in that star never die or something like that. And that creates violence in the children after watching the movies. But also, it is also another way of entertaining. I think if you consider it in the international, where my fans come and die in a movie, normally they come here every day. I always just see them on my doorstep, and then they say, we want to die in a movie, and then I kill them. After killing them,
they never come back.
They sign the wall and then they go back.
That's very interesting. But also, we understand that to have some of the things put together, for example, this action pump stunt gun, this huge and heavy machine gun, the one that maybe looks like the one Schwarzenegger used in Terminator. These cost quite a bit. I'm putting everything together. Later on in the program, you'll be telling us how you managed to put together all these props and how you are able to finance a movie such as this one in the setting in which we have found you. But most importantly, we are also very much intrigued in your storyboard, but also most importantly, how you fish and nurture your stars. But for now, let's take a short break. Now, as we're taking a break, we just ask a simple question. We know that much of this motivation for your movies came from your brother and the era in which you were born. But what is that thing that motivates you every day that you wake up? Is it a book? Is it the belief in what's coming up for the day? Is it a saying? Is it a prayer? Or is it just a look at your family?
I think it is one word that my grandfather told me. You are an artist. That is what he told me. I was very young.
Grandfather just looked at you and said, you're an artist?
Yeah, he told me that is what he told me. He phoned me drawing and then said, you are an artist. And I didn't know by that time what he meant. He had two words. He told me when I was young. In fact, he said he had like a forest of eucalyptus trees, and he said, that is my investment. And I didn't know what he meant. Then later I saw symbol investment, and I said, these are not trees. But he was saying, that is my investment. So I wanted to add the word investment by that time, and I could not get the meaning. Symbol investment was a factory, and he was saying, that is my investment. And because, yeah, and there were trees. So because he was an engineer, so he was using Ugandan English. So he said, that is my investment. So when he said, you are an artist, I had to find out what he meant. Up to now, I believe that I'm an artist because he said
He told you that you're an artist.
Yes.
We'll talk more about how the art now becomes manifested into the kind of movie icon that you are. For now, let's take a short break. When we return, there's more Let's Talk. We're still talking. Isaac Nabwana, or Mzee Wakaliwood as we know him, the guy that brings you action movies. I think later on the program we may have to fly into that helicopter and I go over the skyline of Kampala, shooting especially very uncanny characters on the streets. But well, it's all acted. Isaac, let's start with you. You've told us about the genesis of Wakaliwood. What about you? When were you born? Where were you born?
Yeah, I was born in 1972.
That's
it
very
was
recent.
in November.
Kind of hair in your head.
November 6th. I was, I think, at Mpigi Hospital. That's where I was born, I think, according to my mother. And then I was handed to my grandmother because I think my mother was very young, according to her. And then she handed me to her mother. She was called Monica. And then for me, I didn't know that Monica was not my mother when I was growing up.
Hey.
I thought Monica was my mother, and then my mother thought she was my sister. That's what was in my mind, because I used to see her coming. But yes, Monica raised me up to an age of going to school, and then they brought me to my real family, the paternal family, and then they handed me to Esau Chizito and Rachel. Rachel Chizito, that is her, the husband, the wife of Esau Chizito. So I basically grew up with from Monica to Rachel. So that's why the word Ramon comes in. It is Rachel and Monica. That's how it comes in. Because I really.
So Rachel is your stepmother.
Rachel is my grandmother, paternal grandmother.
Paternal grandmother.
Yes.
So it is maternal grandmother hands you over to your paternal grandmother.
Yes.
And life then moved on.
Yes. For you. So when I first made the studio, it was called Ramon. That is Rachel and Monica.
Wow. In honor of the good work they did in
Ireland. Of course they did a lot because as I told you, I never, have never slept in the same roof with my mother, even my father. So at least my father have done it of recent, but in the past, no.
Do you think that had an impact on you, or did your grandparents on either side cover that void in you so much so that you never felt you missed your actual parents?
Yeah, I think it has an impact on me somehow because I'm not like, I believe that children who grew up with their grandfather and grannies, they are different from those who grew up with their mothers and fathers. Yeah, you grow up missing the real. You are in the second hand. It's a second hand, You grew up in the second hand, second hand mothers and what.
But you have no idea what first hand looks like.
That is what that's what I mean. You feel it because mother is natural. You feel it that you are missing your mother. So you understand.
So one can actually argue you never breastfed from your mother.
I don't know. I don't know if I breastfed, but what I mean is, because you hear that mother is the one who really mothered you. You hear it. And this grandmother of yours has got also children. And you can see how she or he treats the children, the father, grandfather and grandmother, the way they treat their children. You sometimes believe that your mother could also treat you the same way. You have a lot of feelings. It is sometimes even people come and talk to you and tell you that like my mother, there's a lady who used to come and tell me that your mother has sent you something like that, and I feel like I want to to share with her. But I did not until I was in A6 when I had to go to Mpigi and meet her. So it is a little bit, I don't know how to explain it, but you really feel it. You always want it. Because you have never got it. I had got it with Monica, who I thought was my mother, but when I realized that she was not my mother, I was like, oh no.
You were devastated.
Yes, oh no. Maybe there's some more love I should have got from the mother. But yes, I'm not discouraging people to be grandmothers or whatever, but I believe that mother's love is automatic. I mean, it is God. It is God. I don't know how to say it.
It's a natural instinct. Some would even argue. Isaac, in that kind of setting, therefore, were you able to go to school?
Yes, I went to school. I'm lucky. I went to school. I went to my first nursery was Agre Memorial, where now St. Lawrence is at Kavakazi Lake.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I went also Little at old New Tax Park. There was also a nursery. I went there for a few days because my grandfather had a shop at Nabugabo Road there. So we had to. That is the time of war. So we had to leave Kampala and went to Matuga Sanga, near Matuga. So I also completed my primary at Sanga Primary, my nursery, and then went to Kungu, which is also near Matuga. Then from there we came back in 1982. I went to Makai Memorial Primary School, Primary 2 up to Primary 5. Then I crossed to Nachivo Blue, P6. That was 1986 after the war.
Wow.
So from Nachivo Primary, I went to Old Kampala. That's where I had my O-level. From there I went to Pride Academy, and then I
Pride Academy.
Yes.
Now the dots are beginning to connect. Why did you choose to go to Pride Academy after Old Kampala? Was it because of the proximity in distance, or you saw something in the arts? Because Pride Academy also
was the theater. No, it was not. The truth is, why I went to Pride Academy was because of low school fees. I mean, I had no school fees by that time. So they were announcing the school at, it was 45,000 Uganda shillings at that time. So I had to go there, but because I had already lost a year without going to school because of school fees, and I was now into digging sand, collecting, trying to get money. So that's how I joined the Pride Academy, because of the money.
Were you paying for your tuition?
Yeah, sometimes when I reached O-level. Because my grandmother had a lot of children.
I can imagine.
Around 60.
60?
Yes.
60?
Yes, 60 children.
Grandchildren?
Yes. We were many. And sometimes she could even help others.
Also, they were not even actually her biological
yes,
grandchildren.
They were not.
They were everyone she managed. What a big heart she has.
She had the truth, that's why I always
I
treasure
can
her.
imagine your sleeping arrangement. That
it was a chaos. Sometimes it was a chaos in a way.
What?
Yeah. She was a good, loving person.
Let me just bring you fast forward to the movie making, and let's talk about what motivates you in choosing what subjects would make it for the movie. Is it so much your experiences, such as those with your grandmother and the 60 siblings you had around you and the hardships you've gone through life, or it is so much about what Robert would explain to you in terms of the action he would watch when he escapes to go and watch his Uganda movies?
Yeah, I think it's both, because if you see the way I have a number of, many people around me, I think I got it from my grandmother. I think so. But if it comes to action, I think it is Robert, because my grandmother had nothing to do with the action. she was, I remember when we were watching Muhammad Ali, those days, we had a black and white TV. So when we were watching Muhammad Ali, she could run away. She never wanted anyone to punch. And she was
Rambo in the jungle.
Yeah. She never wanted violence or something of that kind. But she was a loving, and she was collecting a lot of people. So I got it from her. That's why I love, I don't chase anyone. Whoever comes to me, I don't. And I have many people around me.
I can imagine. I look around and I can see the signs. Let's talk. How did you go about school in terms of your curricular and extracurricular mix? In extracurricular, were you involved in drama, acting and singing and all that? Or were you into football like many boys were?
The truth is, what is so funny, I never acted.
What?
I never sang. And up to now, I believe that I don't have that talent.
In acting?
Especially if it comes to music. I don't have that talent of, singing.
You can't sing several.
I'm sometimes wonder when I see my daughter, singing. And, I wonder, how can she do it? I tried. I started with our own studio, helping, in the music. But up to now, I don't know how they do it in the music. But I helped somewhere. But when I was in primary school, I remember even teachers, when they put me in a house, they were like complaining. I was useless. It was like a rose to if I go into the house because I never participated anyway. Apart from if even the football which I knew, which I believe was my talent, I did not practice it. And the major reason why I did not practice football was because of bad coaches, the teachers, the game masters were beating children. For me, what came into my mind is to leave football. I mean, I could,
should I shoot this chicken?
So, whenever, those game masters had a bad habit of, beating children. Whenever I went to a school, I could, forge. Whenever filling the form, I could put there a lot of, sickness, like heart attack, whatever.
High blood pressure.
I don't. Yes.
Activity.
Whenever they call me and they say, because other children, especially my age went, they could report and say, he is a very good footballer. And then I say, no, I'm not. Let's go to the headmaster's office and check on the form. So whenever they check on the form, they find that I'm what?
You're a person with disability.
Yes, I could not. But the problem was the game masters. And I used to see them beating. I remember one game master, I don't want to mention his name because he's a referee and whatever. He caned our brother. I could call him brother because we grew up in the same place here. He caned him here, and the blood started, coming. What? And we were going to, I remember how they call it in Machinde there, Lusaka. So we went to Lusaka, and we got a penalty. He was the captain anyway. He had the cut here. Then the coach said, take the penalty. So what our brother did, the penalty was supposed to go in the goal. He kicked it into a throw-in. And that could, tell you that the boy was
frustrated.
Yes, was hurt. So for me, I never, even up to now, I'm in schools, I don't want anyone beating children. Why? Why should you beat them? Because for me, I believe in talent. And I'm seeing now football in the Africa Cup, whatever. I don't see, that talent. I'm seeing something. I'm seeing now it is only the machines now even telling us what we have done. We need the natural. God gave us something natural, and then we do it in a machine way. That really tells me that these guys are also violent. They are violent because they are, denying the nature, a chance to judge. So for me, when I was playing football, I used to enjoy football. I never wanted someone to beat me. I was always laughing. I believe that sport was, meant to,
entertain, as it was, to keep you physically fit.
But then they started beating, and then I said, no, I will not join this. And that's why I never joined football.
Wow, very interesting story. As another form of looking at things, we always ask when we talk to you, just for you to share with us a snippet of that one memorable thing that you quite remember at that particular stage in your life. When you close your eyes, what's the most memorable event you remember of your childhood moments in school?
There are so many moments. There are so many moments.
That one most memorable. That possibly explains how you ended up here.
I think the moment when I got my results, the PLE results, they were handed to me by a teacher called Lokenge, who I knew that was hating me. For the first time, he said, "Thank you." For the first time.
You had won his love.
Yeah, he said, "Thank you."
Does that happen now in your day-to-day life, where you have, in your industry, you call them haters, who think Wakali would never merit to anything, and then you have won some awards, and those who say you never merit anything come up to you and say, "You've proved us wrong"?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. There are so many filmmakers there who have been saying that Wakaliwood does not represent Uganda, cannot represent Uganda. But whenever I meet them, they say it somewhere, and then when I meet them, they say, "Oh, you have represented us.
You're doing a very
good job." And I think that I should, persistence is what we need in this. We need to keep on because yes, as I told you with the teacher, he was hitting me, was caning me every time. They was shabby, you were what? But when I got the first grade, he said thank you. So for me, I don't believe. I believe in persistence. Whenever I say, "Oh, Wakaliwood movie is not good," and then I say, "Okay, let me try to improve and more and more." One day you say thank you, and I've seen it. Many, big filmmakers in Uganda, they are saying, "Yeah, you really, your story has been successful somehow, and we are represented somehow." Because yes, they might be as good as they are, but how have they, represented Uganda somehow? Have they really managed? Yes, they have good movies. I even see that their movies might be better than mine, but the problem is maybe there is something they're lacking, like in marketing or something like that. And yes, marketing something good was also a problem, a big problem. You might have something good and then you don't have the market. But I've tried at least, and then I've seen so many of them saying, "You have tried. You have put our industry somewhere
on the map." Let's talk continues after this break. Stay with us.
An incredible life story is shared and told differently.
Welcome. Having our conversation still with Mzee Wakaliwood, as we fondly know him. And so you go through school, no much event with regard to your love for movies. You are not the kind that goes to Uganda. But here we are, we're in the middle of what you would call your arrangement called Wakaliwood, with incredible movies such as Who Killed Captain Alex. Anyway, have you ever found out who killed Captain Alex?
The truth is, even me, I don't know who killed Captain Alex. Maybe we'll find out in part 2.
I hope I will be part of the cast.
Yeah, you should come.
The problem is I will die in that movie. I don't want to die in my own movie, literally.
Yeah, you should. You should accept to die in the movie.
I will. Hopefully I don't actually go, because now considering that you have all these incredible guns, no chance of return. So from Pride Academy, you don't participate again in anything dramatic?
No. It was now.
And then where did life take you after?
The truth is I wanted to go to the university. But I had my 10 points. I had failed mathematics because of money. I was a very good mathematician. But I don't want even go into that story because it's a sad story. But yes, I wanted also to continue the university. By that time, Rwanda was calling for free university. And I had a friend there who was willing to, to accommodate me or something like that. And then I wanted to go. So I had to come and then dig sand and, make money. I made some money.
You are mining sand here in Wakariga?
Yeah. This place, belonged to my grandfather. So it is being that it's a wetland, so there was a lot of sand in it. So I used to, that's how I got some, shoes to go, to put on when we're going to school. So, but by that time, I got around 600,000, I remember. And then I told my grandmother that I'm going to Rwanda. She said, "No, can't you get a school here?" I know she was very clever. She never wanted me to go to in a place where, it was not yet stable. She tricked me into, I said, no. She said, "I will pay now. I'll pay for you." But I didn't know that she was tricking me not to go. So she gave me a little money, and then I went into catering, because she had said, "I don't have enough money, but at least get a course here." And the course which I could get was catering, hotel management and catering. So I joined there at, it was called, I don't remember that place, that's where Mkwano Shopping Arcade is. There was a school, and then I joined. And then later on she said, I don't have money. And then I said, oh, again. So I had to join the welding with my friend, old friend, village
You
mate.
joined schooling for welding? Or
No,
you
no,
just
no, no,
went
no.
to do
Welding, because we had already learned welding, with taping the welding machine and doing what, making them. So they got a job because they were also welders. So I went with them, and then I remember the first shopping arcade in Kampala was called Capital Shopping Arcade in Chikubu. I was part of that, welding part of it.
What?
So we did the welding there.
So these fabrications for these things, do you do them yourself?
Yeah,
No, this continues to fascinate me.
Yeah, we do them here, but it's not me who do them, but
Because of your welding knowledge, I'm sure you...
I can because I have that. I know the knowledge and I have everything. But yes, that's how I ended up, coming back. A few months I was there, and then I collected some money, and then I came back and started making bricks.
Bricks?
Yeah, bricks.
Here?
Yes, here.
In Wakaliwood?
In this area, this place. Here. I started making bricks.
Was it easier to make bricks as opposed to welding?
Yes, because of the eyes. I have a problem with the eyes.
Look at the...
Yeah, looking at the torch there, it is always painful at night. So I decided to come back with, after collecting some, like how do you call it? Capital.
In Tandikwa.
In Tandikwa. Then I said, let me go back because the clay is ours and everything. So the place is ours, I can go. I can be in there. We used to call it forest, Chibira. So I came into Chibira, the forest, and then I started.
Which is now no more.
No more. There's no tree, even a single tree, apart from that pawpaw. There's no more trees. So that's how I joined the making of bricks. From there, I started, thinking otherwise, because the first thing I wanted also still school fees. But when I reached there, I said, no, let me not waste my time with the school fees. And
You are now mature
and
enough.
I'm now mature enough. Let me try to help children. Then I started a school. It is still operating, though we rented it because of COVID, and I'm busy this side, so it is called Crane Educational Center.
Wow.
So I started with an infant school, and it was charging low.
All that time you've not thought of Wakaliwood?
No. But I was into art, but I was like, yes, I was thinking of making a movie, but I was like, how can I start? Where should I get? What I
Why
did not
were
tell
you
you.
thinking of making a movie?
I told you I was drawing comics, and I wanted them to move. It's like I wanted them to move. What I've not told you, when I was at Kampala, at Pride Academy, the guys of UBC came to film us in a debate. It was called, was it affirmative action? Something. I don't remember the theme of those days. Straight talk. It was a straight talk. So they came, and I was looking at them. I remember they had big tapes and big camera. They used 6 tapes. I remember they used 6 tapes.
Pneumatic tapes.
Yes, I was like looking at them, and was like, well, that evening I had to run to see what they shoot. So when I saw the program, it was like, I was like, why don't they make movies? Why don't they make movies? I even up to now don't know why those people did not make movies, because I could see that the flow of shots was good. And I believe they could make a movie, but I don't know. They have their own answers. But yes, from there I was like also looking for making a movie, but the means, I had no means. So when I started making a school, and later on, after making one school, then I thought of making a secondary school. I made it. It was behind me here, but the problem, it was stopped because of family wrangle, the wrangles. But it was also helping. I think I helped many youth, especially in Natete, on the streets. I collected them all and brought them here.
But how were you surviving in terms of...
I was alone, and I was making bricks, as I told you. I was making
the
bricks.
proceeds from the bricks, you decided to invest them in social initiatives such as bringing people.
Yeah, and I did it.
Wow, what
I did it, and I believe I have doctors, I have lawyers, I have engineers who I helped, and I'm so happy with that. Apart from the art, because I have a big portion of the music industry, because I've helped many, and if it comes to, I'm so happy. I'm a happy man. Even if I die today, I believe that I have done it, my job. I have done what God sent me to do here. I believe.
Which is nurturing talent.
Yes, nurturing talent and helping the needy ones. I believe I have done it. Even without, because it is not, you don't need to have millions of money to help someone. It is also, you have the brain, because I used the bricks to start a school. And I remember when I became a director of a school, in fact, they call me director, not because of movies. It is because of schools.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I started understanding the word
director was for movies.
No. They used to call me director even before movies. They used to call me. I remember one old lady came to me and found me in a bricks area where we're making, and was lying with these guys. They were taking marijuana and something like that. And I said, "Oh, come. Now you are no longer supposed to be here. Son, you are not supposed to be here. You are a director of school. You can't be with these people." And then I told her, "Mom, the truth is, I've been with you for so long. And I think these guys have helped me to put the school in place. The school is built with bricks, which I've done with these guys. I think they have advised me well. And I'm trying to help them to get out of this taking marijuana. And I have helped many of them. I've helped them. So I believe if people don't understand, sometimes they run away from the people they need to help. But for me, that's why I'm staying here with my people. I believe I'm attached to them.
Any big names in the music industry that you can proudly say have gone through your hands here?
Yes, Eddie Kenzo.
What?
Hilleman, Kabako, Lodin Wai. There are so many.
They were here at Wakaliwood Studios.
They started with me. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm the only person who has a video, because I don't have photos, a video of Eddie Kenzo recording his first song in my bedroom.
Yeah?
In my
His
bedroom.
first song
Yes.
recorded in your bedroom.
In my bedroom.
Are you picking royalties? Or
I don't care about that. That's one thing you have to know. That if you are helping someone, it's not a debt. You are not, it's not a debt. You are just helping. I didn't know. But what I knew is that these guys will one day become, big. Because I remember in one video, which I have up to now, when I was in problem with the people around the studio, saying that this guy is collecting, thugs in this place, like thieves or something, then I had to bring the whole village to tell them that I'm not promoting, violence or thugs or whatever, but I'm trying to promote talent. And I remember professed that one day these boys and girls,
who you say Bayai,
yes, one day music will become their bread. And I think now it is a big bread in their hand. Wow. So I professed, and I'm seeing them. I'm seeing many of them. They're endless. I've sometimes find them. Some find others and saying, "Do you remember me?" And then I say, "Who are you?" And then say, "Don't you remember when we came and we sang this song," or something like that. And they're now big men. I helped them. I collected them. Instead of going into bad habits, they were always at my studio. And we are not charging them.
That for me, it then brings me to that aspect you're talking about, and I can see you are in a bit of trouble every once in a while. You get land rumbles from your family members because you're trying to expand the school to help them. They're saying, "No, we can put other things on the land." You have creatives coming to spend more time here and do their creative thinking and action, and the community around thinks you are holding Bayai.
But with that one, I got an answer from the Bible. I was here one time. I a church would planted behind me.
A what?
A church. Someone came because this was our land, and then someone came with a church, and then I said, "Oh, put it there." So one time, I'm not a church goer normally. I don't go to churches, but I always listen through the loudspeaker. So one person, one pastor was talking about Isaac in the Bible and said Isaac was digging wells for the family, and they were always burying the wells. So I realized, oh, that's why my grandfather wanted me to be called Isaac. and it is now I'm experiencing the problems Isaac was facing. So wow. I realized it from there, and I've never read that place. That piece, but maybe one day I'll find out more.
Isaac Nabwana, a very interesting life story here. But when you look back now, before we take a short break, just take us quickly to then how Wakaliwood is actually born. That first thing that got you into the movies.
In the first days of Wakaliwood?
That first thing that you would say was your first production.
Oh, my first production never came out. It never came out. It was called My School Days. And I used to collect by that time I had the music studio in my bedroom, and I had already got my wife, and we had already got the child. That is Rachel. She's also Rachel Monica.
Rachel,
So
you decided to
she was
do
young,
the
and then I started calling Robert's team. That is my brother's team. They had a team at Nalukolongo, and then I used to call them every weekend, Sunday. We gather together and go, especially to Busabala, Kazi, and where One Love Beach is there. We used to act from there every Sunday. So what happened was I didn't know the continuity and something of that kind. So one Sunday you come in red, and the other Sunday you come in blue, and there is no continuity. So something like that. That is when I started editing. So the movie was not connecting. So I said,
and you couldn't call them back to redo.
Yeah. So what came into my mind is to learn more, to learn how do they do it. So I got a friend who was a drama actor and had a written play, and then I said, let me help you, because he was looking for someone to shoot it. Then we went to Lian Tonde, and then I helped him to shoot that movie, which was a play. We did it. I went there for, I think, 4 days, and then I came back. I edited it in 6 days. It was out. I think I learned a lot from that.
Then next you had to put in something that then became your actual first production out. Which one was this?
Yeah, I think that was Biabuk.
Biabuk.
Yeah.
What's Biabuk? What's the
Biabuk, I think, throw away. That's what it means, basically. Because I was, by that time, for me, when I came into movie making, I was also thinking about marketing at the same time. So what was in my mind was like, what do we have on the market? It was all Nigerian movies. So I said, no, we need also to tap into the Nigerian audience. So I did that sort of magic sort of, witchcraft movie. It was Biabuk, and things flew away. Fridge threw away, car and everything. So, so that is Biabuka. That was the first, and I tell you, that movie was a hit of those days when we put it on the market. I remember I got so many callers from Owino Market, and they wanted me to direct them to the witch doctor I used in a movie. Someone could call me and say, I have problems. Can you direct me to that witch doctor? And then I said, no, it is software. Don't worry. Even if it's called software for me, you direct me to him. Yes.
Quite an interesting story here. By the time they realized this was all acted, you must have lost a bit of shine. Let's take a break. When we return, we talk more about how then your journey progresses from that first production of Biabuka to where we are today, where we're now planning to have something about, like you told us earlier on, to have an action hero, superhero arrangement and a themed arrangement or recreation of an old folk story with today's contemporary acting. We'll be right back.
An incredible life story is shared and told differently.
Now, here is a conversation that many of us would find very interesting, but even more interestingly, again, to use the word interesting, is that you find it intriguing, and it's a clear story of grass to grace, perhaps even before grass. Because now a man who clearly was not the quintessential hyper kid ending up in making what now has become a signature Ugandan production in terms of movies. Biabuka, your first movie, Isaac. Subsequently, you tell us that the reaction was massive. So much so that now we thought the action in there was real. Then what became your next movie? You again went for that blend of Nigerian sorcery and Ugandan Galib Neso.
Yeah, the reason why I made it, second movie was called Ejini Kuchalo. Ejini Kuchalo.
Wow.
I have Ejini Dientwetwe, but the second one is called Ejini Kuchalo. And the reason why I made Ejini Kuchalo was marketing. Because people were not paying me. I mean, the distributors were not ready to take Biabuk, and I thought it was very good. So I had to make a movie for them, so that if they give me money, I blend this one and then sell it.
So Biabuk, according to the distributors, was not a good movie to go.
I think it was a good movie, but they were, trying to
like
cheat.
anything on
They were like cheating, to cheat, because one of them told me that it's like a Nigerian movie. Why don't you make it like a Ugandan? It should be Ugandan. And then they said, why do you have Nigerian movies in the stores?
In the stores, and how come they are selling like
yeah. So I think they were just wanted to cheat, and there was around 6, and they were like together. So you go to this one, and then they send you back to the first one. So it was a syndicate, but it was a tricky thing. When marketing, it was also something which came into my mind. Well, like, why do we have to? Distributors to distribute our movies? Can't we distribute them ourselves? That came into my mind, and then I made some copies. Then I turned the actors into a marketing team. So I was shocked to see that I'm telling them that we are going to sell our movie, and then I had to talk a lot. Then I told them that, please, we have a movie, and we have a film star in the movie. Who is going to call you a film star if they don't see the movie? Then, wow, they were convinced, and then they said, let us go. So we went to Owino, I remember, because I had to think of places. The
place which had congregate.
Yes, we went to Owino, and then people were like, no, who do you have in the movie? Is Mariam Dagire, Abe Muchibi, Katoro Bwama? And they said, no. But we came back without even selling a copy. So the second day, something came into my mind. And what came into my mind is, let us go and give for free. I had already got a problem with giving for free. People were like, no, why do you give us for free? Especially when I was promoting music. I promoted music myself. I went giving, but people were rejecting free things. So I told them that people don't want free things. So what you have to do is let us spot someone. Is the owner of a stall, and if you see he is the owner, let us give it to him or her, and tell him or her that we are coming for it tomorrow. Go and watch. If it is not good, tell us, something like that. So that's how we gave for free. They like 200 copies, win. Wow. So the next day I had to make more copies, like 500. So when we went, someone could see you from a distance and yell at you. Oh, you are very good actors. You are better than these guys. And then, it becomes your marketeer there. And people are like, what do you mean? You take that movie, you never regret. You take it. And then we started, selling there. And we started from there, getting call numbers and everything from there.
How much are you selling a movie?
How much? By that time, it was 5,000. By that time, it was 5,000. Wow. And then they lessened it to 3,000 later. Up to now, it is 2,000. So that's how we started with 5,000, I remember. Then we went to Chiseka market. There, it was very good there. I think we had the biggest customer there. From there, we did not stop. We had to go all over the country. What came into my mind, especially with my geography, it was, let us go east. Because electricity comes from Jinja. Now DVDs come from Kenya. So I think they have DVDs, they have electricity. But when we reached there, it was another story. It was a different story.
Some places did not have electricity. And there were poles passing over them.
Yes, and they can, even if you go to them and they look at you like this, what do you mean? Why don't you first bring electricity here? Something like that.
Mine.
So we faced a lot of challenges there, like the Muslim community in Uganda there. It was like they never wanted even to take they want the movie. Sometimes they buy the movie and they give you back the cover, and then say, why don't you take the cover? No, we don't want images, pictures in our at home in our houses. And then I said, okay, we just learned it. We just learned it from there. People in Tololo, you don't know if they are happy or not. You just find, he just gets the money out and then
when you think he's annoyed?
He's annoyed and then he's okay.
Then he pays.
Yeah, he pays. So it was like that. But what the biggest experience in the market that I got from there was the age bracket. I realized that people of my age don't care. Because they did not grow up with the movie industry, apart from some ladies at least. At least ladies could, understand, but especially men. They are clever, they know Hollywood, they know that Hollywood have a lot of money. How can you come on foot and say you are making a movie?
They expect you to look like a Hollywood star.
Yeah, like a Hollywood star.
Show up in a limousine and step out to the green.
Yes, of course. But they were like, oh no, we are not buying. So sometimes they even could, tip you and say, you are a very good talker. Let me give you this.
But they don't buy.
They don't buy. They don't take the movie. And if you find someone who is in love of Ugandan movie at that age, is mad, and he could, talk a lot. So, but we kept on, and then I also, got a problem then with the other filmmakers. They were like, oh, why do you take film stars in the marketing? It is not good. And I told, no, this is not what they call building the film industry. These are not film stars. These are filmmakers. We still need, marketeers. We still need makeup artists. So we are going to get them from these ones. So I told them that no, film celebrities will never be from us. Will be in the audience in the future. In the future, our children will be film celebrities. Otherwise, we are making the market. What was so interesting in the first and then the next movies we produced, the audience was used to us, especially buying from the actors. They could, if you could go and they keep you, they like keep you for a moment. Someone could say, let me go for money, but she or he is going to get some more people to see you. So she or he collects more people to come and see you. When she reaches, or they come here, oh, he's the one, and then they start, shaking hand with you. So that's how, I was building the marketing.
More like a book signing event.
Yes, something like that. They were so happy. And what they forced us to do was to make like the posters. The covers were like calendars, and people don't know that. But they sometimes accuse us. Why do you put many people on the cover? They don't know it was a marketing strategy, whereby if you are not in the movie, they always say, are you in the movie? I'm here. I in fact started putting people who are not even in the movie on the back of the cover. Whenever they asked, are you in the movie? They say, yes, I'm here. So we were strategizing how to reach many people, sensitizing them how to love Ugandan movies. And that is why I'm still, fighting for it. As I told you, when I realized that people above 40 are like, they don't care about us. And then I realized, oh, we now need a new audience. And what came in my mind is, let me start a new audience. And then that's why I started the Waka Stars. The children. The children, I started them with Isaac Newton and others. I started them basically to persuade their fairy children into loving movies, because I knew ladies are in love with movies. And ladies, when they see a child on the screen, they don't leave. They just call other children, make their children to see.
We conclude our conversation and discussion with Isaac Nabwana, also popularly known as Mzee Wakaliwood. Mzee Wakaliwood, a man that has single-handedly revolutionized the movie industry in Uganda. It is these conversations that bring a sense of desire and challenge to each one of us to see how best we can revolutionize whatever it is that's within our mojo. God bless. Let's meet same time, same place, next time with another conversation on a topic or issue with an incredible audience. Everyone has a life story to tell. But an incredible life story is shared and told differently.